I am doing it now. Was, was that you? Oh, okay. I thought that was, yeah. I hate grocery shopping. Yeah, I went grocery shopping today and I hate it every time. I always get so stressed out. I feel like every time I always find the trap that I'm going in the same aisle a woman's going, and like I'm just going that way, and then they feel like I'm following them. Like I'm not, but I have to go this way to get the thing I need. I can't go the other way because I've already been the other way. God damn it! Okay, you made a left turn. Awesome, cool. I'll keep going this way, and we're leaving, and we're done. We're done. We're out of here. I know. It's like I'm not trying to follow you, lady. I just need my cereal, and you
Going
happen to be.
going hungry is my biggest mistake. Like I tend to go hungry sometimes, and you should never do that.
No, I'm a big boy. I eat. I just get. It's just like, please don't. No, okay, you're going in this way. I will do that physically, so I don't look like the creepy fat guy following the attractive skinny woman. I'm like, okay, okay, going this way. Okay, you're going this way. I know how to get to the cereal this way. Okay, cool. And we're walking, and we're going, and you're here again. Yeah, this is awkward. I'm not following you. I swear to God. I swear to God, I'm not.
Yes, I am.
Without ripping out the Dudley Boys, yeah. Get the chairs. Yeah, I didn't watch that.
I watched parts of it. I watched the first half. I think I saw up to Jarius. Is he up to Jarius? The Dudley Boys was so long. Yeah. Mhm.
I was too tired from work to deal like to deal with anything at that point because I got off at like late for me at least. I was like, I don't want to stay up and watch anything right now. I'm gonna go to sleep.
So it sounds like all three of us watched Takeover and WrestleMania 34 for sure, and then some other stuff.
Yeah. I just watched Takeover and 34. I'm sleepy. I'm still sleepy. Is WrestleMania over? I'm gonna say this right now before we get into it. I fell asleep during the main event. I was already 2 hours behind because work got off late, right? I got off work 2 hours late because fucking somebody wanted four goddamn tires right as we were closing, and I still had other shit to do. So it was 1 o'clock in the morning for me getting to the and I was like, I'm just gonna lie down, I'm gonna stay up, I'm gonna stay. Reigns is gonna win. What happened? I fell asleep. I fell asleep.
Some would say a triple threat. If I was you, I probably would have taken the tire, thrown it at your customer, and ran away very, very quickly in true cowardly James Ellsworth style
Dude, I wanted to, man.
fury.
Yeah. I'll tell you all the story. It was on Saturday, which made me an hour and a half late to watching Takeover. But I'll tell that story off the podcast. He needs to say, if a place tells you you're fucking closed, we're fucking closed. Damn it.
Also, if you're closed, you're probably closed 30 minutes before you're actually closed, right?
Right. You gotta clean up. You gotta do that other shit. Is you're an asshole if you show up when like you okay, you subconsciously know. But this is wrestling where everything lasts forever. I will be super quiet during that because I didn't watch. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Origins. No hate. Oh, okay.
Didn't Kid Rock have Kid Rock had a theme for WrestleMania, but I couldn't even remember like who had the themes for Takeover. I don't even know.
They always have like multiple. It's a heavy rock metal band because that's what Triple H is into.
Hmm. That's a
I'll have to
hell of
guess.
a way to start a pay-per-view. My God. Sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
I was gonna say let the guest go first, and the guest went first.
So I was really looking forward to this match, because you it's not typical in a multi-man match where you go, every man here legitimately could have a chance at winning. And it's one of the first times in recent memory, at least, where I went, every man in this could win. I mean, there were people that were more likely to win when you actually give it some thought, but if any other man would have won, you could have said, yeah, that makes sense, either based on how they're being positioned or the storyline that they're in. I just thought the people in the match itself, without even talking about the match yet, they were all legitimate contenders. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, for me, Killian Dane is like, I love Killian Dane because he like takes almost other people's signature moves and does them. I mean, in War Games, he did a coast to coast with a trash can, and I was just like, this is my new favorite NXT wrestler because he's a big man and he moves like a man who's 100 pounds lighter than he actually is. Hmm.
Yeah, they did a spot twice, like crashing through two separate ladders. It was nuts. Yeah. But-
Adam Cole, baby. I'm super high on Adam Cole. I really think that the Undisputed Era is like 2018's The Shield. And I'm really glad to see, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but I'm really glad to see that they're going to keep the momentum going because with Bobby Fish's injury that just happened during the last round of NXT tapings, I was really concerned that Adam Cole would be relegated to being a tag team wrestler. But what we're going to spoil later obviously shows that they really believe in these guys and that they are setting them up to succeed.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I like to call Adam Cole my Shawn Michaels Jr. because he just looks like Shawn Michaels. Um, it was a fantastic way to open that. I love the new belt. I'm kind of glad. I was wondering whenever they would start introducing other belts besides the women's and the main title. They already have the UK Championship and now this. EC3 looks like The Rock to me, like from 1996, like very much so. I don't get his gimmick though. Yeah, I don't get his gimmick though. Like, is he just supposed to be a rich guy who just happens to be super fit? That's what I'm thinking. It didn't come clear for me because I know he was around before, but he seems all right. Yeah.
Yeah, that seemed to be his gimmick. So he obviously came over from Impact Wrestling, and it worked out perfectly with both Ricochet and EC3 in that EC3 was just written off television like a week ago, where he was fired from Impact by Jeremy Borash, who's also now part of WWE. And then with Ricochet, his contract with Mark Burnett's Lucha Underground basically said that I think it was 60 days after the taping or the airing of the last episode, he could then appear on television again. So it just worked out perfectly that, and they probably built it in the build, but EC3 came on 2 weeks before Ricochet was teased and then came like a week before. It was just perfectly built given the constraints that they had.
Right, yeah. And Ricochet is the one that really out of the two those two newcomers, Ricochet, like his high flying spots. I'm like, I mean, we've seen high flyers over the past 20 years, but that dude literally looked like he was flying. Like it was crazy what he was doing. Um, yeah, so I hope bright things for NXT. Yeah, they're not, they don't really have the big names like they did before, but a lot of the talent that's there, especially from this match alone, is going to be like, okay, NXT is going to be still something fun to watch over the next year or two. But then they get drafted to WWE again.
And I mean, even Velveteen Dream got a nice spot with his, Purple Rainmaker from that huge ladder. So everyone got a spot. And we haven't even seen Ricochet's finisher yet, which is a 630, which is incredible when you see it.
The 450? It was pretty much almost beat for beat their last takeover match, except for the segments where Ember like act started going, doing the reverses. I thought was great, like Retribution. That it's not turning the face heel, but it's like rubbing it in, like have a taste of your own medicine kind of thing. But it was pretty much the same match, which isn't a bad thing because I thought their first match was great. I honestly expected Ember to retain, so seeing Shayna win the way she won, I was like, okay, okay, fine, we got a new champion. New opponents, hopefully. Although I don't think Ember's going to be out of the title picture anytime soon. Maybe this means she's going to get up to Raw or SmackDown before after Backlash or something like that. But very, very solid, good match with a couple of extra spots. But otherwise, very, very well done.
I really like the respect that the WWE has for people's finishers or for like streaks. So when you look at Ember Moon's finisher, the Eclipse, I think it was the first time that someone has countered the Eclipse.
Yeah, that spot was sick.
So it was great. I love when they actually put thought into let's protect this finisher. Like Baron Corbin's End of Days still has not been kicked out of. So that's what I really appreciated about that match. I don't think Shayna Baszler was ready to be the champion 3 months ago when they had their first match. But even in the past 3 months, I feel as a in-ring character, she's improved even since 3 months ago. So am I the biggest Shayna fan? No. But this was absolutely the right thing to do at the right time. I'm really surprised Ember wasn't in the Battle Royal. Like she was the only person that I was like, why aren't you in the Battle Royal? Because you're obviously going to get called up to somewhere this week.
AKA the biggest fucking swerve of the whole goddamn night. And the Dusty Road Classic too. By default they won that as well.
Yeah, you guys weren't in the bracket, but it's fine. It's fine.
Y'all got 6 buys. It's okay.
Yeah, and I guess when you think back, you go, Roderick Strong had matches against, the Undisputed Era when they were like, "Hey, why don't you join us?" And he didn't. So like that was a nice build that I didn't even think about till afterwards. That I went, "Oh yeah, they wanted him to join the faction long time ago. He said no. He reconsidered." To me, the two spots that I really liked, Kyle O'Reilly. I think he got power bombed, and he's been doing this a lot lately, where he like stands up or like feigns like I'm okay, and he just falls right out of the ring. Like whenever Kyle does that kind of nonsense, I adore it. Um, Plus, I'm a huge like fan of Pete Dunne. I was really looking forward to seeing him like wearing two belts inside NXT. I mean, he wears tons of belts outside of NXT, but yeah, having Pete Dunne take the pin was surprising too.
It was a very good tag match. Very chaotic, very fun. I know a lot of people aren't very fond of the Authors of Pain, but I like them. I thought, they delivered the role they needed to be. But I mean, overall, the match was kind of like after a while, it kind of blended in with some of the other stuff you've seen. There were some cool spots, but once that swerve happens, you kind of forget everything. Like I just remember screaming, "Why, Roddy? Why?" Because you don't see it coming. I yeah, she falls into the realm of manager because she actually has a role in it. She speaks for him. Valet would be just like Miss Elizabeth, like she's kind of just
Or
there.
like a Summer Rae would be a valet to me.
Yeah, yeah. I want her to wrestle because
Yeah, whenever she Hurricane Rana someone into these like the steel steps, I always like lose my mind just because her Hurricane Ranas they look so good, and I think it's just because like she's so small and she does them against people that are so much larger than she is, and it's just they're perfect when she does them.
yeah, I thought it was really good. I think if anything, this proves that people were, but prior to his win, his Cien Almas's win, winning the title several months ago, that this proves that like the dude's legit, man. Like he just wasn't given that opportunity. When he first had NXT, and a lot of people slept on him, even me accordingly too. Like he was just kind of like, "Oh, you're that guy." And I liked actually how they built that in the storyline. He was unmotivated, into now he became like this super, workaholic kind of champion. But still a shit heel. But I thought the match was great. Like it had to happen. They've been building to Aleister Black winning the title for a long time. Like this dominant force who hasn't lost yet with that devastating black mass. Very cool spots. Just very, very good. It had to happen. And like you said, the Sofia Vega bits were great. Although the one time she did too many, it cost, and I love that. I love that when that happens. Um, it plays into sort of that realism that they try to approach with it. But yeah, very very good match. Not as good as the Gargano, um, almost. Yeah, and a lot of that has to do with that Gargano, honestly. But it's still a very good match for this one.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what they're gonna do with Cien Almas. Seeing the evolution of his character, but also even like in the build to this championship, I found that in a lot of his promos, he was speaking Spanish. And like, even though he's been a heel now for, 6 months, ever since his prior to his Drew McIntyre feud, he's always been speaking English. And to have him now be speaking exclusively in Spanish, I mean, if you look at I think the 2 weeks before the match, he was speaking Spanish and Zelina Vega was speaking English on his behalf. I'm just really curious to see what they're going to do with him, because are they going to have him be like kind of a Del Rio, or are they going to have him be a different type of heel? He's ready for the main roster. I'm just interested to see how they're gonna, like, if they're gonna pivot his character more to be more of like a heel from a non-US country, or if they're just gonna let him go and do his thing. Funny story that I heard about him throughout the weekend. I didn't have a chance to validate it, but I will. Is that he was La Sombra in CMLL. Obviously, he was a masked luchador in that promotion, and I guess he had the mask on. And then Stephanie McMahon, throughout the NXT process, saw him without his mask on and said, "Oh, you're not going to wear a mask anymore. You are way too pretty to be wearing a mask."
He is a very attractive man.
He is.
The power of context, baby. Yeah, yeah, Tommaso Ciampa. Yeah. Um, I mean, as expected, it was going to tear their house down because, if you saw the cruiserweight tournament from a couple years ago, these guys know each other, they know how to work with each other, and they tore the house down. Then with, what this show to me, like, if you want to show a person who, like, well, why do you like wrestling? It's this match had everything. It had emotional buildup. It had great spots. It had, that layer of that extra of like why you're rooting for Gargano, why you would hate Ciampa. It had every bit of theater, every bit of sport that you would want in a professional wrestling match. I nearly started crying that bit when Gargano sits down, like they were used to, and about to hug each other, and then the brilliant spot of Gargano knowing Ciampa's not going to do that, and turns into a submission. Removing the padding from the floor to the exposed, like, quote unquote concrete. I don't know if it's actual concrete. I want to believe it is.
It looked like concrete.
Yeah. And then, like, I cringe because, like, you could put somebody to the table, I'll go, that's awesome. The second you remove that padding, it's like, okay, please don't do that. Please don't. I felt for them. Like, you can feel I felt every strike. And it's such a brutal match, and I love that. This is one instance where I love the crowd. Just have the crowd saying "fuck you, Ciampa," or when Ciampa would take a brutal hit, you deserved it. Like, this is the one time I don't mind the NXT crowd chanting something. Yeah, this was like well done, well timed. The right person went over because nothing. I mean, like, you're not gonna Gargano to me is their future. Like, that dude has huge babyface potential, like, put on cereal boxes, put on everything. This is going to be your face. Yeah, definitely. Like, if this year alone has shown that Johnny Wrestling can be a big name, I think it's possible. But yeah, easily match of the night to me. Almost a year's worth of buildup. I loved it.
Yeah, it's, to me, this was easily the match of the weekend. Even the stuff that I saw in Supercard doesn't touch this match. And I mean, it's build and it's small details, right? So we talked about the build, ever since last year, ever since the Cruiserweight Classic, when they put on a clinic themselves, then they become a tag team, then the tag team breaks up, and it had that similar feel to, like, the Kevin Owens Sami Zayn feud, in that, like, that they were friends, before their actual signing to NXT. But then, like I said, it's also in the small details too. So it's an unsanctioned match. So we're going to have the referee just in, like, a black shirt with black gloves on. We're going to have Tommaso Ciampa come out to no music. And, despite it not working at all for Dolph Ziggler, it worked for Ciampa. And how long they stayed on him, and, like, just the crowd went through 3 different chants as he just stood there and took off, his his gear, some of the spots, including a true, mwah, beautiful heel moment when Tommaso Ciampa took crutches from a man, obviously a plant, but took the crutches from a Gargano fan in the front row and began to, use those as a weapon. It was it was fantastic. The small details, the build up, the match itself, the spots, like this will be a match of the year contender. I have no doubt in my mind. I wasn't sure if he meant to do that though. Yeah, I felt like that was a mistake. Like he wasn't supposed to snap it. Like he was. I don't know what he was trying to do, but maybe he was. But I felt like that was the only point where he was like, "Oh, I didn't mean to do that." Um, but yeah,
Given I can't speak for the super card, but given WrestleMania, yeah, definitely match of the weekend for me. Well,
one
actually,
thing I
hold
just want
on.
to mention before we move on here. You go ahead.
I was gonna say there is a match in Mania that might be tied with it, but we'll get to that in a moment.
Hmm. The only thing I was going to bring up that we didn't talk about in the tag team match was how the rules, like we talked about the rules of the unsanctioned match, but I don't know about you if you noticed it, but the tag team rules, like it was a free for all for about 10 minutes and then they just let it become a tag match again. Hmm. Yeah, let's do that. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I didn't watch the whole Supercard of Honor. Like you and I were talking before the show, I don't know what it is, but there's so much talent in the wrestling world right now, and for some reason, organic or like primary ROH talent is not like something that I go to first. Like I regularly watch WWE, NXT. I watch a lot of New Japan. I kind of been watching Impact because I'm trying to like I know that Impact's going to be amazing in about 6 months. So every once in a while, I watch some Impact. And my grandmother loves Impact, so we watch it sometimes together. That's a long story, but Ring of Honor is like the fifth down, so usually I don't watch. But there's a lot of New Japan talent on this card, so I watched Hangman Ibushi and Hangman Page. I've got to tell you, he is like the guy that I underrated the most in the past year. Having watched him in the Hangman Page versus Jay White match at Strong Style Evolved in Long Beach a few weeks ago, I have to say, like underrated. This man wrestles good. I want to see more Hangman Page. His buckshot lariat, which is a lariat, like it's almost like a springboard lariat off the rope with theatrics, and it's great. What did you think of the match? Unreal. Yeah. Yeah, to me it looked like Ibushi like wanted to stand up higher, and he realized that if I stand up, because he got up to about 2/3 up, and he realized up, I'm gonna knock the barricade forward into these patrons, so I'm not gonna do that. But Hangman Page has been almost dropped on his head too many times in the past, couple months. Mhm. Yeah, the ring post, his golden triangle, it just it always looks good. And Ibushi has a lot of charisma, and it's something that, I have just kind of noticed is that, he's got a lot of good, like his body language is good, where someone like Kenny Omega, like a lot of it's in his face. To me, Coda has like charisma through his whole body, and he's just incredibly gifted physically. So that was a match that I would almost say, was it my favorite that I saw? I don't know. It was really good though. Yes. I think it was an apron pile driver. Even though like Ring of Honor and WWE are exempt from that like Louisiana banned moves thing. Yeah, so the way that I understand it, so as you referred to, there's this list of moves that the Louisiana State, what is it, recreational board, either way, they've banned like 6 or 7 moves. But I think any large company, which in this case would only include WWE and Ring of Honor, they're allowed to do those because they trust that they'll do them safely. But any other small promotion, they're not allowed to do about 6 moves, and pile drivers are one of them. So it was fun how they did mess with that, though. Mm-hmm. And continues that, the Golden Lovers, Bullet Club is not fine, narrative that we saw in the Cody Kenny final, confrontation between the two of them for leadership of the Bullet Club. Yes. Mhm. And the kingdom came into that, right? He'll be in Bullet Club soon. Like he's got to be. He's another one that I just like totally. Yeah, he's a great wrestler. He's much like a Hangman Page, where I was just very surprised by how talented he is too. And there was a spot with the Young Bucks. There was a spot where the Young Bucks like were doing like the floor is lava, jumping on the different ladders too. No, I did not see that. Yeah, Cheeseburger is just adorable. He is like, for those of you who don't know, like he wrestles primarily in New Japan. I think he was Young Lion, and this man is like 100. He's about my size, so he's like 140 pounds. He can't lift anybody. He's like obviously a comedic act, but full of charisma. They love him in Japan. So much heart. But it definitely was weird seeing you know Bully Ray, Bubba Ray, like go between Hall of Fame, then like he's the booker for Ring of Honor, then he's back at WrestleMania. Like that was a weird like yo wrestling is a small business kind of moment. Hmm. I mean, they were already in the building. Speaking of Louisiana cops, Cody and Kenny. Cody is one of the best heels in the business right now. He just everything he does, I'm just like, you are trying to get us to hate you, and it's working. Like it's the small character stuff for him. Like he's not the best wrestler in the world, and he admits that. Like if you hear interviews that he does, he loves the wrestling, and he knows that he's not like the most technical wrestler. But like, fight me on this. He is the best heel in the business right now. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. He even goes back to his old like Stardust, like he does the Stardust cartwheel, and afterwards he just like sticks out middle fingers to the whole crowd, which was like just everything he does. That beer moment, the middle fingers, and like he's probably fighting the guy that's like the babyest face, the most baby face outside of WWE right now, and like everybody loves Kenny, and it Cody's great. Cody is one of the best heels in the business, and brought out the business bear with him, along with Brandy. Hmm. Yeah, and to me, it all culminated in the moment where I think that match went for about like 35 minutes. I think both that and the main event went for about 35 minutes. And what happened was at about the 32-minute mark, the Young Bucks came out. Who I don't know if they were interfering or what they were doing, but they just decided they were going to come out. Yes, they did interfere, but like why they came out, like both guys were laying on the ground, right? And they came out. No, you go ahead. But even between like Matt and Nick, so like they're even within the Young Bucks, their like allegiances are divided because Nick is a little bit more with Kenny, or Matt is a little. One of them is a little bit more with Kenny than against Kenny. So you even saw within the Young Bucks like there's division there. They're working on being the Elite 100 right now, so the 100th episode of their show. When they came out, you saw a guy with a camera following them out to catch the moment. So I think and I hope that they'll address the future of the Bullet Club in being the Elite 100. I do. Look, it's not very good, but like that's the whole point. Like they're not actors, they're not movie makers, but like I think what they do is brilliant. The execution, you can fight about like, hey, it's maybe not the technically best series, but like they're doing things that no one else in the wrestling business is doing. They're crossing promotions, and the whole feud and the mini feuds within it are fantastic. I just want to know, like, Bullet Club is not fine. Let's determine what's going to happen here. Yeah, Bullet Club is fine. Bullet Club is mine. Yeah, so good. He's so good, and I think the next big event is actually a New Japan Ring of Honor, like World of Worlds. Like that's the next big set of events, and they're coming to Toronto. So who knows? Mhm. She took a bump, right? She took the table bump this time, right? Hmm. Stephanie McMahon. Hmm. 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 Yeah, because they like the heel. But like I said, I just really want to know, and when I think like where is Kenny Omega going and what is he going to do? I just want to know, like in the next 6 months, are there going to be two factions? Is Kenny going to be out of the Bullet Club? I think we've had a lot of build, and I just like now the big match happened. Like let's move this thing forward a little bit and figure out what's next. Hmm. No, I think he didn't. He probably noticed, but his character was like, I'm not even gonna note. Like, I don't even care that my wife just got knocked out. Who cares? It doesn't involve me. I just want to know, like, with All In coming. So All In is the event being planned by the Young Bucks and Cody and Kenny and I think Stephen Mel. Like that's what they're planning. I just really hope that we don't have to wait until September at All In Chicago to figure out what's really going to happen with Bullet Club. And then you watched the main event as well, right? The Dalton Castle match. I don't understand why that one didn't go on last. Hmm. Hmm. Again, working into that big, like, they're making fun of the golden lovers, so all of, Brandy and Cody's gear was gold and Marty's gear was gold. Like, again, another piece of this Bullet Club equation. Yeah, I all in all, what I saw was great. I might go back and watch that match because you seem to have sold it pretty well. But what I saw was good. I just want to know where these things are going. Hmm.
Yeah, what? Cody, is Stardust back? Okay. Oh God, I like Stardust. I know Cody. Oh yeah, that was great.
Hmm. One of the things that we would have gotten if Cody would have stayed, why he left is the big story he wanted is he wanted to be Cody Rhodes after the brand split. He wanted to be Cody Rhodes on one show and Stardust on the other show. Just think about how amazing that would have been.
That would have been great. It's about- the brilliant one won, the right one won. That's right. That's all that matters. These mean nothing. Like ever when they started doing this at the same arena when Cesaro won it, and like, oh, this could be something, and they did nothing with Cesaro, and they did Big Show. Like they've done nothing with this. It means nothing.
I mean, Baron Corbin kind of had a decent year. I think he would have had a better year if he would have kept his mouth shut behind the curtains. Um, yeah, about concussions and whatnot. But we all kind of saw this coming. Like the Wyatt, Woken Wyatt's coming back. Procure. That's it, really.
For his probably for his dad. Did he dab? I didn't watch this because again, when you watch a pay per view, for whatever reason, the pre show is a separate video. So when I started watching Mania, it starts from the one match we're talking about today. So I miss everything. I haven't even watched it today because I was just like, I don't. I saw the results.
Yeah, him and R-Truth had a moment where they were together again as the Golden Truth. There was dancing, there was dabbing, and then they all just got thrown over.
Wow. Okay, now I'm gonna watch it just for the dabbing bone because that sounds funny.
Yeah,
The bat. That's fucking odd.
it was just that one match. JR did that one match. So he came to Mania, and I don't know about you, but like this may be an unpopular opinion, but I don't want to hear JR anymore. Yes, it was that. Well, he didn't care. Like he wasn't invested in the storylines. He didn't care. He made some pretty like flippant comments about the golden lovers that I was just like, you don't need to talk about golden showers, buddy. Like we get it. You're trying to be like old school funny and like I don't think it works in for New Japan. Right. Sure, that's your job is to get the names right. Hmm.
I'm really kicking myself because I know 205 live is a thing, but I never watch it. Like it didn't seem important. And then they've advertised this subtly this cruiserweight championship, and I kept saying to myself every week, I should watch that. Never did, and I'm really annoyed at myself. So I think at some point I'm gonna watch the tournament and then watch the finals because that cruiserweight classic is still amazing to watch. I mean, granted, a lot of those guys who made it amazing aren't there anymore, but even then, there are plenty of dudes who are still on the 205 live roster that are still good. Uh, God, I wish I saw. I wish this was on the main card instead of another match. Basically.
Yes, I agree with you. Like as much as we want the Usos on the main card to like be on their first WrestleMania main card, like that was the weakest match on the card, and I would have gladly had Cedric and Mustafa Ali on the main card, just because like you're trying to build up this championship, you're trying to build up 205 Live. You put a general manager in Rockstar Spud who's fantastic, and you add talent like Buddy Murphy, who like was phenomenal during the tournament, and then you just put them on the pre-show. It just like I get it. There's so many matches, and you can only put so many in the main card, but like you couldn't find a spot. Like your show went till 12 o'clock last night. You couldn't put 12 more minutes on the main card. I don't know. That's just me. I mean, he's not a great like talk. He's a very average talker. I think he's like got some great ring work. His finisher is like the lumbar check is one of the best in the whole like WWE. Like he makes it look great. Um, it is. I don't have much to say about this match. It was a very typical 205 Live, like fast paced, acrobatic match. The costumes were great too. It was very Sub Zero esque.
That's what I heard. Now I really want to watch it. Fallopian tube trophy. I like Naomi.
Well, look, Bailey and Sasha had their moment, and I'm like, oh, okay, Bailey is gonna go over. But then we forgot that Naomi was sleeping on the side, and like, there's not really a reason why Naomi won it. Like, you could probably think of two or three other female wrestlers that, like Becky Lynch, probably needs a push right now. I just, yeah, I don't know. They didn't commit to the Sasha Bailey thing, like being like I don't know. I just Naomi out of nowhere didn't do it for me. And they also had a nice contingent of NXT female wrestlers come up and almost within the match like create a small faction where they were like, we're gonna take out everyone else that's in this match. I'm a big fan of Peyton Royce. I think she's a good wrestler, a great talker. She got a couple leg lariats on against the Riot Squad, And yeah, that was a nice moment. The little faction, Dakota Kai, um, a few others were involved in it, and it was fun.
The fucking Game of Thrones contact weird threw me off for a second, Seth. Shit was weird, man. I was like, he has contacts on? He look dope. You didn't notice the blue in his eyes? Wow.
I just want to know what was up with the Miz's glasses.
He was he was Miz discovered anime and then he's like, I need a costume now.
In 2018, the year where all celebrities realized anime is real cool.
Yep. And then can somebody explain this to me because I haven't watched Raw? But like I'm really super excited about Balor clubs for everyone. I think that was really cool. Like he comes out with all the LGBTQ people like of New Orleans, that organization. That was awesome. I kind of like if I would have done it, I would have had him come out as a demon, but as like a rainbow colored demon. But that's just me. I know that probably like tarnishes that I'll probably like get some hate from people who love Balor hardcore. Was that a thing? Okay, wow.
When that Bray Wyatt match happened, he was supposed to be like Sister Abigail versus like the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown version of the Demon King. Thank God they scrapped that match.
Yeah. But yeah, next year do or at some point do the Rainbow Demon because that would be
Mm-hmm.
no. It was so cool to see people like the like 70,000 people do the hand thing. Like that was like I was like, my boy's here. He made it. Welcome, dude. It was awesome.
I just want them to do something with Finn. Like Finn is great. He's a great worker. He like the way he just like I think his gimmick right now is like he's really attractive and he smiles a lot. It's like pull the trigger, make him heel, or like bring his boys, the Balor Club, into it. Like I just do something with Finn. Yes, he has 10 abs. Which makes sense. He's now a Grand Slam champion. He's one of I think 8 or 9 Grand Slam champions in the current format. So like you could in my mind you could see it from a mile away. Um, I love the build up they did between Finn and Seth, like having matches in between them and almost having that happen within this match. I mean, they didn't have a lot of time. They only had like I think 15 minutes, but I think they did a lot with even Miz's character work when he told the Miz Taraj to go to the back.
Yeah, that
And
was
he's like,
great.
guys, I'm a dad. I'm a dad now.
Then he'll come back and he'll go to SmackDown and then finally have that dream view with the Dan O'Brien that we've always wanted. Uh, but yeah, a
Yeah,
great
there's a couple
opener.
guys absolutely. Yeah, 100%. There's a couple guys that I want to go away and love Miz, but like if you wanted to take a 3-month break, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and then come back and win the WWE title because he deserves it at this point. I've said it before, and I'm going to keep saying that. But like the dude's put his time in. It's time again for the Miz to reign. That would be. I do your moves better than you. All that good shit.
Your kid has a stupid name.
It'd be like the opposite of like my dad can beat up your dad. It'd be like my son can beat up your son. Or I don't even know if Dan O'Brien actually has a son or a daughter. I don't.
They both have
It's a
daughters.
daughter. Okay, yeah, then never mind. Maybe not. Maybe not. Don't go there. So, as somebody said on Twitter, and I said it when I watched it, the Mercedes Superdome, where streaks go to die. Um, Match next to Champa and Gargano, this was match of the weekend for me. Like I loved it. Like Thomas, I talked to you about this. Like, I wanted to see Asuka versus Charlotte. It's the one match they didn't do. It lived up to my expectations. Great in-ring war, great spots. You know, I think there was like a counter into the Asuka lock, which was nuts. Like, just, for two competitors who never worked together, they seemed it looked like they had clashed multiple times and they just knew each other. And to me, like, I know some people are salty that Asuka's like, eventually Asuka's streak was going to end at some point. Like, Goldberg's streak ended, and be glad this one didn't end by a taser. So at some point it was going to die, and if it was going to die, Charlotte made the most sense. She's the dominant, most predominant woman. She's the face of the women's division right now. She's the daughter of Ric Flair. She's a multiple-time champion. If anybody was going to be ready for Asuka, it was Charlotte, and she was. That finisher of doing the figure 8 with the one arm was awesome. It was great. In ring.
Yeah, the amount of strength that she would have needed to pull that off was like insane. Watching her do that, I'm just like, she is so strong. It was interesting to see how they have almost protected or made the armbar now Ronda Rousey's thing, because the armbar and the triangle and the Asuka lock are kind of her things. And they've now taken the armbar and said, well, we're going to make the armbar Ronda Rousey's thing. So she couldn't use it. She only had like the 2 big submission moves. But like you said, Charlotte Flair will main event a WrestleMania. It is just a matter of time. I cannot wait until, at WrestleMania 32, the triple threat match she had with Sasha and with Becky. I think that stole the show at 32. And,
oh yeah, definitely.
And like, let's just give her a main event. Like, she deserves it. She works hard. She puts on fantastic matches. She's got the charisma. Great. This was my match of the show. And my friend next to me, he has cried. I think he cried at the Iron Man match between Bayley and Sasha Banks. And he also cried, I think, at one of their other match. And like, he teared up at this one too, just because of like the respect shown between Asuka and Charlotte at the end. Match of the show for me, no doubt.
Mark it right now. Yeah. It like, this is to me, I wish like every women's championship match was. It didn't matter they were women. It felt like the WWE commentators like to say, it felt like a big fight feel. Like, I had that pit in my stomach of like, who's gonna win, the streak or the championship? Something's got to give. I'm surprised it was this early in the show, but then you see what happens. Like, well, I'm kind of glad, because I don't want to have fallen asleep during that. Like, it was great that I was actually awake for that. But I'm sure they have plans for Asuka. Now we don't have to worry about the streak anymore. Now it frees her up to do whatever. You don't have that constant ghost hanging over you. I mean, she was undefeated for almost 3 years. Like, that's impressive, and in and of itself. And they made her seem unbeatable. And I'm glad they didn't take her to the Brock Lesnar role where it's just the same thing over again. And she's versatile, and now she can do other things without worrying about if the streak's going to live or die. Because that eventually people would have started turning on that shit at some point in the main roster.
Yeah, I'm sure. Makes the most sense.
Yeah, and I'm sure I'd rather have this than, like, say, Ronda do it, because at least Charlotte's homegrown and everything, and she, it's that wrestling legacy of the West versus, one of Japan's greatest exports. It has all that implications to it. But mark it right now: Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey, WrestleMania main event 35. That sells it right there.
Yep, you don't even need to, like. You're right. You're totally right, and I'm so excited to see it.
Fuck Roman Reigns. Put his ass in the corner. The women are headlining WrestleMania next year. Do it, WWE. With the actual Space Odyssey 2001 theme playing first. Like, that was, like, awesome.
I was a little mad they did it there. Like I wish they would have done it during the US championship match because like this women's championship is a big deal. You broke Asuka's streak. Charlotte broke Asuka's streak. It was the best match on the card, and then you have like, oh, but wait, it's the women's championship, so let's have John Cena run through Asuka and through Charlotte. Like, why couldn't it wait?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's when the ref comes and you can hear the ref say he's here, and John lights up like a kid on Christmas.
I've already seen the memes of people like taking his like the gif of him running up the ramp, and I'm sure we're gonna have that meme for many, many
Oh
months to
yeah,
come.
2-for-1 George Sell, baby. That's my favorite. But yeah, like I agree with you. They should have done it in the beginning at the US title, at the Intercontinental title match, because like Seth Rollins, yeah, won, but like you can interrupt that for Cena. It felt disrespectful to do that to Asuka and Charlotte.
Hey guys, Paige here.
That was so weird. They should have done like actually had follow Cena around the back and had him looking for Taker like a comedic skit in the years past. Like Taker and like Taker would like just fake him out every time. Like you would see a cloak, you hear a gong. I know you're talking about, but his name escapes me. The one who says, "Don't call me Shirley."
Now,
Yes, I'm not sure. He is very. If he is, he's very old. Don't hinder gender. Rusev Day should have won. Like seriously, how does WWE not realize this dude is over with this gimmick? It's a dumb gimmick. Like it's dumb. I'm sorry, but they make it work somehow, and they had a crowd of 75,000 eating out of their hands, and they had Jinder Mahal win it. Granted, I like Jinder Mahal. I think he's all right. It just if, like it should have been Rusev. Crowd would have blown off the roof at that point.
I mean, people like legitimately hate Ginger, and I can't think of another superstar that like fans legitimately hate. Like there are heels that are just good talkers, or there are heels that like are pushed and they're not great wrestlers, but like he is legitimately hated by the crowd. And like I totally understand why like you want to get a little bit more out of that. Like I can totally see him on SmackDown, like Tuesday night, just being like an American, this is the American title now being held from plus they're going to the Middle East soon with the Greatest Royal Rumble. So like I don't want to think business again, and it's not India, but like
He's Indian. That's just the weird part. Like that would just be like, oh, they're all the same. If they did that kind of shit.
yeah.
That is true. Yeah.
In Saudi Arabia, I'm sure like there would be respect for, someone like the Great Khali or someone like Jinder. I know it's not India, but still, there's probably a respect there. Anyway,
Oh, Aiden English is great. I'm really glad he's found life after the his tag team after his tag team dissolved. But Bobby Roode should have had a better entrance. I'm sorry. I wanted a glorious entrance to WrestleMania. It was fun, having all people chant glorious, but I wanted more for Bobby Roode this year. Maybe next year.
I'm just really afraid that he's gonna like continue to tumble down the card.
I hope
Yeah.
not. He's a Why he shouldn't have been able to babyface to begin with. Doesn't work.
It was a Snickers commercial.
Yeah, it should have been a live segment. Like that would have been great. That sucks. because that's still legitimately a good gimmick, you know.
They were super over like last summer.
Um, Kurt looks great. Like I'll say that much. I was really surprised on how warm the crowd was to Ronda. Like they really got behind her. You know, especially when you consider that they want Brock Lesnar the fuck out of WWE. Um, it was this match was fucking crazy. I thought it went on way too long, honestly. At certain points, I went, they're not gonna have Ronda lose her debut match, are they? But they didn't. Like it was perfectly fine. You know, I wanted Kurt Angle the Olympic Slam or Angle Slam Triple H to the table, but that didn't happen. It was perfectly fine. Kurt got his moves in. Ronda, you know, a little rough. You know, you can tell she's still working, but some of the moves she was doing was like, how the fuck did you do that? You know, granted, it's against Stephanie McMahon, and they probably practice a lot, but you know, she impressed me a lot more than what I was expecting. She looks great. Um, fun match. Very fun. Good to see Kurt again.
Yeah, I super agree with you. Ronda looked great. I wasn't expecting her to look, in such great like ring like shape, like almost like ring awareness, and the match, like the psychological piece of the match to be as good. And even when she, fought Triple H, and when she like started punching him and then like picked him up, like Stephanie missed her cue by a couple seconds, I think. And
Yeah,
like
you can
Ronda, you
tell.
could tell that she was like holding, and she's like, I can't for much longer. But Ronda looked fantastic. Like she is ready. Like I was like, oh, she's gonna need another 6 months before she's actually like in good like ring condition. No, she's ready now. And yeah, it was the match that surprised me the most. And I think out of the last like WrestleMania has had the longest match at 6 of the last 7 WrestleManias.
Of course, because it's Triple H. It's
It's Triple H. It's the game, man.
I mean, at least this was like it didn't affect anything, but it's still like why? Like there are several points early on you can say, okay, that should have ended right there. No, we're still doing this. We're still doing okay. Now it's over. Like it to me, that's my only criticism of the match. It went a little longer, and I'm surprised the crowd's energy still held up. Honestly, I mean, if it was later on, it probably would have died. But like you know, that's the only problem I have with it. But yeah, shout outs to Ronda. Like I can, and she's only gonna get better. That's the scary part. She's only gonna get better.
Mm-hmm. What'd you think of it, Thomas? Yeah, that's something they've kind of tried to shy away from in the past couple years, right? James Ellsworth and Becky Lynch is like the only intergender match I can think of in the past like 3 or 4 years. To me, that happened because like of the Facebook deal. So like the broadcast rights for WWE are like coming to renewal very soon, and like they're obviously looking at new partners in the United States instead of USA. So obviously Facebook is a like perhaps a viable option for them, or it's their way to say like, hey, we just like leverage this huge like Facebook watch audience. Maybe we should get more money on broadcast because tons of people love WWE. That's I think that was like strictly business. Mm.
No, I don't really. Yeah, just goes batshit crazy, which I love. Piss break.
They were
I
the best.
yeah. And New Day. No matter what, I could be depressed. I could be sad. I could have a shit day at work. I watch something from the New Day. It's all good again because they always make me laugh. They always do something hilarious, and I love that pancakes are now their thing or have been their thing for quite some time. But it's so great.
Yeah. I just wonder what they do next because they could keep going. They could be a faction that has like another 2 or 3 years in them by their merch sales and by their gimmicks alone. They just got 5 minutes to do this match, and obviously with 5 minutes you're not going to get to do much, especially in a
Yeah.
triple threat. So it is what it is. I just want to see what they do with the SmackDown Tag Team division now.
Yeah, it was a squash. I just wish there was more build for the Bludgeon Brothers. Like it kind of felt like they came out of nowhere from the last pay per view, and then maybe it's because I wasn't watching SmackDown weekly, but it's just like, oh, these guys are here too.
No, there hasn't been much build for them.
Okay, well, I assumed right then. I mean, I like their look, but it just like it. I would have rather have been like, say, the Usos versus the Bludgeon Brothers 1-on-1. As much as I love the New Day and I love seeing the New Day, you could have had an take some time off that Triple H that tag team with Rousey, Angle, Rousey, and Triple H and Stephanie, and give an additional 10 minutes to this. You have, maybe have the Usos do a quasi, face turn against the Bludgeon Brothers. These big unbeatable monsters, and have them lose, but lose in close or something like that. I think that would have been much more fun than we're gonna squash this for like 5 minutes. I feel like this should have been on the pre-show, and the cruiserweight. This to me, honestly, this should have been on the pre-show. And I get it. The Usos have never been on the show. I get that. I understand. I'm sorry for them. And I mean, I want to ask. I would like to ask them. Would you rather have been knowing what they know what the match is going? Would you rather have been on the main show with only this amount of time, or on the pre-show where you had gotten more time to work? I legitimately want to know that question. Um, I was playing my Nintendo Switch because I knew this match was going to be long. I was like, well, let me just finish this real quick, and then I'm done, and it's over. Okay, leave me a chance to use the restroom. Nice.
Yeah, the Usos and the New Day are like two of the best tag teams in the whole WWE. And when they feud, they always put on a classic. Like I said, you can't do much with 5 minutes though. So
No, fucking weird. Well, like Cena just comes out and he's like waiting for Taker, and then Elias comes and does his thing, which he does. Elias does what Elias does. Unlike they stopped Rob Gronkowski that one year.
security actually did for a little while. She's like,
Yeah,
"You can't jump that, sir, sir."
no. He's in. Because like he's like pouting, he's like legit pouting, and it was like that's why I thought it was so awkward. But then you hear, then he like walks up. He's like, I've never seen John Cena that depressed. I'm like, well,
I
I
was
guess.
like, is he gonna turn heel here? Like, what is going on?
And then comes, the gong. The lights go out for the second time. I thought that was super sick. It's super corny and cartoony, but that was like I was like, I'm like that. Like, that's like some Jason Voorhees shit. Resurrected by lightning. That was awesome. He looks good.
He
Yeah.
looks like he shaved like 5 or 6 years off his his ring experience. He looked really good.
I legitimately like that Cena looked terrified of the Undertaker because it's been so long since like rest. Usually, like nowadays with the modern era, like I'm not afraid of the Undertaker, and you always have stoic looks. I always loved it when I was a kid. You would always face the Undertaker was like terrifying, and you'd have those like cower and fear. Like even Yokozuna was like that. So it was nice to see like John in a way. This to me is John paying respect to the dead man. I mean, it was the dead man who put him over, initially. So to see him sort of cower in fear of the Undertaker, a little bit of disbelief, but like it was super sick. I loved it. I mean, would I prefer like a full on length match between these two, like say 3 or 4 years ago? Sure, but this was perfectly fine. It was nice to see that the dead man can still move. You can't kill a dead man. He's not going away.
I just hope they bring him out of retirement for more than just this. Like I hope that there's like maybe there's one last run or maybe there's, one more WrestleMania match. I really hope that they just didn't bring him out of retirement for this one match.
Yeah, he legit like it was like when was the last time you saw something like that? Most wrestlers like, oh, whatever. I've seen this since I was a kid. Kick to the face. Well, yeah, like imagine you're in the ring, you're some nobody, and you hear that gong, you see the smoke. All of a sudden, this dude who's 6'11", wearing looking like a guy who's trying to kill you, walks slowly down the ring like a shark in water. Like that's terrifying. AKA the match I cried from start to finish.
Yeah, this was a match. I don't know about
Wow.
you, but I just it checked all the boxes. I love Daniel Bryan. I'm so happy that he's back. I just it only checked the boxes. That's all it did.
Yeah. Or if they told him, he's like, nah, they're fine. I'm the boss. I write your paychecks.
I wrestle 4 matches a year. Come on, cut me a break.
I like that opening. It was nice. See, like I saw people upset about that, and I kept thinking to myself, "You guys do not understand the meaning of the hot tag, because that's what that entire segment point was, is to build up to Daniel Bryan tagging in and getting the crowd hot. That was the whole point."
Yeah, they're gonna take me off on the board, but now I'm good. the yes lock was the way that it was ended. Um, Shane, I hope he's okay. 'Cause I couldn't tell because he kept holding his stomach like the umbilical hernia he has, and like don't know if that's kayfabe or not. I really hope it's kayfabe because diverticulitis.
This is a guy who will jump 15 feet off a steel cage. He will wrestle with the hernia and that's because he's crazy. I mean he said it before, like he's a risk taker, even though he's like 50 with kids. But whatever. I'm not judging Shane at all. No. But I just liked it because like yeah, you're right. It checked off boxes. It was basic, but like it was just nice to see him again. That energy, like the crowd came to life. Like you. I mean, granted, you have Rusev Day. None of that touched what Brian did just by doing basic shit. And it, yeah. Yeah, he looks in tremendous shape. Like I'm glad he's back and give me my AJ Styles Daniel Bryan WWE title match at SummerSlam this year, buddy. Give it to me.
I don't know if I want that. I might want something else. We'll talk
Well,
about it later.
yeah, true, absolutely. But at some point down the line, it has to happen before AJ retires because he's
Mhm.
old. He
Yeah.
doesn't look it, but he's old. I love this because I saw something. I know it's not going to happen, but I hope it does. Like that they go to 205 and like they constantly have to like KO's like, no, I am under 205. Like KO's just constantly fucking with like I am under the weight limit. What are you talking about? I want that to happen, but they're probably just going to go to Raw.
So the Superstar Shakeup is a 2-night event and it's happening next week. We're currently recording this during Raw, so like we don't really know what's happening, but like that has just been announced that the Superstar Shakeup happens next week. So I don't know. I'm just curious to know. Much like I'd said, like, hey, what's next for X? You know, what's next for Finn? What's next for the Bullet Club? Like, this is great. Kevin and Sammy are off SmackDown. Like Kevin Owen got to beat up not only Shane McMahon but Vince. Like he busted him open. So like let's make this worth it for him. That's all.
Nia looked rough. Not her physically, but like wrestling wise, there was a couple of stuff was like, ugh. But at the over like outside of a couple of things, I thought it was a perfectly fine match. It opened up how I thought it should be, where like there's no way Alexa Bliss should be able to do anything to Nia, but it worked. It was a perfectly fine match. It did everything you needed to do. You knew who was gonna win. I love that the her squashing Mickey though was great, and the
Yeah, that was
way
fantastic.
best part of her slamming her into the wall, into the side wall was just and not just once, like repeatedly was just like,
Yep.
oh my god. Yeah, like that was great. Like shout outs to Nia. Like I'm not super a fan of Nia, but sure. Why not? I mean, we've already had Bailey and Sasha be multiple time champions, and Alexa obviously almost had a year as the champion. So let's give it to somebody who could be fun.
I still understand why like it wasn't more of a squash. Like Alexa got a lot of offense in, and there's a clear like you're trying to build up Nia. Like she's the only female superstar that has her weight said kind of as she enters, and she's billed at like 270 pounds. So Alexa's billed at like 110. So there should be a clear like physical advantage. Um, I just I like Nia a lot, and I think Alexa's been in the spotlight now for essentially 2 years. So like, does it benefit Nia to squash her? Like Alexa's had a fantastic 2-year run. Like maybe she just needs 6 months to like not be in the title picture. Give Nia the squash. I don't know. It was fine. Who's a
If I
big
was,
bully? When did the
I wonder how many people's Amazon echoes went off during this match, as every time Alexa Bliss's name was said. I wonder.
That's too funny.
Oh my god! But yeah, I'm just good match. I wonder. I hope Nia holds it for a decent while, and build up my girl Bailey to be the biggest superstar in women's wrestling because she deserves it. Because I love her. I'm sorry, I'm biased. Bliss.
Alexa. Oh, dang. And it must be hard for her to also like, because she's battled an eating disorder before, so it must be tough for her to like talk about someone on camera in like, hey, she's dumb and big. I appreciated that she was willing to do that to get heat.
Disappointment of the weekend? Question mark. Because, like, look, the match itself, and I've been running through this in my head, like, all day. Like, the match was fine. It was a perfectly fine match. The problem is, when you're AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura, this should have torn the house down. Now, I want to note, I started to fall asleep during this. It didn't help that the performances were kind of lackluster, but also because it was midnight when I was watching this. But it felt so anticlimactic. Like, it was so built up, and yeah, there was some stiff hits, but there wasn't that wow factor that I know those two can do. There was none of that fun factor from their Wrestle Kingdom match. Granted, I knew they weren't going to recreate that match or anything, but that electricity that was there at that Money in the Bank confrontation, last summer, none of that was there. And the only thing that saved it is the ending. If anything, because it promises something better, hopefully. But it was so bizarre, and I felt so like this hurt. This hurt because like I personally built it up as and a lot of people did is this is going to be the match to the show. This will be to show why they should main event and not Roman and Brock. And
It's a dream match.
Yeah, when it's not really a dream match in WWE's contention, it's a dream match for like the IWC people, even though it's already happened. But it's like I mean, I love the finish, of doing the Kinshasa and countering into the Styles Clash. Like that was sick.
Yeah. I think there was also like a knee into a calf crusher at one point too, which was like it looked really good when they did it. I just like I didn't see the heel turn coming. I think it was like the second most shocking. No, I would say it was equally as shocking as Roddy going heel. But so my favorite Shinsuke thing is Wrestle Kingdom 10, his entrance when he had like the dancers with him. Have you guys seen this Wrestle Kingdom 10 entrance?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so just after this is done, Google Shinsuke Nakamura entrance Wrestle Kingdom 10. He has a bunch of pole dancers on these poles, and he also like comes down on the ramp. He's got his old like guitar theme for New Japan, and he just like start dancing like with a female dancer in like a very like ballroom kind of way. And I was like, this is badass. This could be Shinsuke Nakamura as a heel. Like they could literally keep him weird. They could just like add the like he's a really like brutal striker and he'll knock you out, but like have that like cool like rock star artist thing going. I'm incredibly excited for Shinsuke Nakamura as a heel, and I really hope this is part of like a trilogy of matches because this they just scratched the surface. And if it's part of a longer plan to SummerSlam or a little bit before that, then I'm down. But like you said, I was disappointed because I'd built this one up, and much like you, I was kind of like, okay, is this done yet? Can I go home? There's so much wrestling. I need to sleep.
That woke me up. That legit. Well, I was in bed. I was like, I'm just gonna lie down, and that. Well, I was like, why, Shinsuke? Like I was acting like a kid again. But yeah. Oh, and
Yeah. Nicholas.
I legit expected it to be Hulk Hogan. Like I was ready for Real American to play. But then when you went you, I'm like, again, I was tired. I was like, Braun, are you talking to me? I'm not New Orleans, Braun.
It's
Um,
you.
um, Unexpected. I love it. Look, okay, I'm gonna say this right now. If you're a person who's like upset at this or angry at this, like you have no soul. Like this is adorable. It was a cute thing. It was great. I love that he tagged him in, and like there's the image going on, like instantly regrets the decision of that look on his face. I would too. Like I guarantee he was excited at the same time. Those guys are 6'4" and like 2. Yeah. Yeah, he's officially the youngest, and I love the memes like Amber Alert, missing child from New Orleans, and or Nicholas suspended for having Flintstones vitamins. I love it. It's so
Mhm.
great.
I liked it more than I thought I was going to because I was fully expecting like Dean Ambrose or Rey Mysterio or whatever to someone to kind of come out, and then it was someone in the crowd. And I'm like, okay. I mean, it is John Cone's son, like the WWE referee John Cone, his son. But still, like this kid, he's just a kid. It's so wholesome.
Yeah, people are hateful, man.
So
I
I'll tell you
guarantee.
how I reacted. I reacted in a negative way just because I'm like, you just buried the whole Raw tag team division, and that's more what I was upset about. It was a good moment. Yeah. At one point, he's like, "Do you want these guys to get these hands?" And I was just like, "Oh, babyface Braun."
Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of Braun Strowman over the past several months. Like, okay, this dude's legit great. Like he's I know it's my ignorance, but I didn't think you're gonna get these hands would be a thing. I would be loving.
Mhm.
I want to meet this guy. You know that if that kid probably puts his hand in Braun Strowman's hand, the hand would just disappear because how big Braun Strowman's hands are.
I just love how good Braun has gotten on the mic, even when like even the funny bits where he's just like, "What's your name, little boy?" Like, just Braun is great. I'm glad he has a title finally on the main roster. That's his first title, right?
Yeah, yeah, because he never won the Universal because of Brock, and I don't think he won the Intercontinental. No, he was never Intercontinental. Yeah,
I
this
don't
is
even think
just
he was a tag team champ as a part of the Y family either.
no, he was just their enforcer kind of person. Shout outs to shout outs to Braun Strowman for stealing my heart. No, the slate that Cesaro and Sheamus are on, he's just like, fuck this. I was like, like this is my thought process. I'm in bed. I'm still kind of riding off the high of Strowman shenanigans. Oh, it's Lesnar versus Reigns. Reigns has got this. I'm gonna watch what I can, and I fell asleep. I wake up the next morning thinking Roman Reigns is the champion. I turn the network. Wait, what? And I watch the match. And I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, for some fucking reason. Question mark. You know what's funny though is that like there was like a thing going on that UFC had announced that Brock was going to be in a fight later this year, and like a lot of people were like, "Well, there it is, Reigns is going to win." And even before that, like everybody thought this was the time. This was like the match was a disaster. Like I like their WrestleMania 31 match. Yeah, that's the one in. Yeah, I'm one of the people who likes that match. Because it. Yeah, you had the Brock doing his typical Brock bullshit thing, but I thought Roman had a little bit more offense, and it showed that never die spirit. Versus here, it just felt way too long, way too chaotic. Like and like the maybe call me like squeamish, but like once he busted him open with he did the Randy Orton thing. I was like, okay, fuck this. Like I already know. And like he does like what 6 F5s or some bullshit like
Yeah, it
that.
was 6.
Yeah, it's like to me, like this is gonna be a little mini rant on Brock Lesnar. To me, like, and I should have done this before, but from now on, as long as he's a champion, instant turn off because I know it's how it's gonna turn out. It's gonna be the same thing over and over again. This should have been the moment you take the title off of Brock because he's had it for a fucking year. Done. I mean, yeah, he had that one great match with Samoa Joe and the great match with AJ Styles, but pretty much the Universal title was gone. Because Brock doesn't want to work every Monday, and it's like you have a talent of rosters on the Raw roster that could do some fun things with the Universal Championship. But no, because Brock wants to be the champion or Vince wants to have Brock have whatever the case may be, it eliminates something. And to build at this moment, like they built this up like this is redemption for Reigns. He doesn't have Seth Rollins, that goes hovering on him this time around. And to have not only Brock beat Reigns, but beat him like you have no chance with me. Like you never had a chance. This is the guy, and I'm talking from like a storytelling standpoint. This is a guy, Roman Reigns, that beat The Undertaker last year, that quote unquote retired him until this year, that is the face of WWE, and then loses emphatically to Brock, like gets brutalized. And you're expecting me anybody else anybody else can take down Brock? No. Like no, unless they built it up smart, which I don't believe WWE can do, because when they do, they just do the opposite thing that they should do. Brock's just gonna win every time unless they strip him of the title. And I I don't get this decision of keeping the title on Brock. He's fought everybody. He's defeated everybody. You know, granted, he hasn't fought Finn, but we know how that match is going to go. He'll destroy Finn because that's what WWE wants.
He is the first man since Hulk Hogan in the 80s to hold a world title from one WrestleMania to the other. So for like at least 28 years, he has been billed as the man that holds the main title from WrestleMania to WrestleMania. I just want to know, was Dana White in on it? Was it a work like from the start with Dana White? Like, is he the man that planted the seed of like, hey, maybe Brock Lesnar's still going to fight for us, so he's going to leave WWE? Like, to me, I think we all got played by Dana White, who now has a very close relationship with the WWE.
Yeah, which is like, I never think that was going to happen.
Yeah, which is super weird. So look, I think Roman's gonna have his comeback tour where like, look, we've beaten him down into a literal pulp. So like maybe you'll cheer for him as a babyface.
Hell no, the crowd was okay. For those of you who managed to stay up, WrestleMania ends with Roman walking away, and yeah, I fell asleep at that point, but this is watching on delay. And it's like you can hear the crowd that's still there boo him. Like, I'm sorry, I love Reigns. Reigns is not terrible. I don't think he's terrible. He was put in the same situation. At some point, WWE, you have to get the message. They don't like this guy. They don't want this guy. It just pleads ignorance every time you put Roman or Brock at the end of a show. And it's a shame for Roman because Roman's not bad. He's not. He's far from
Roman's a good wrestler. I think our problem is that he's just being shoved down. Like, and look, we're one demographic. We're, you know, a snarky demographic who like, we have our guys, and like Roman's not one of our guys. And I just wonder, like, kids must like him. His merch must sell well. He must look good as a face. All the women love him.
Oh, hell yeah. He's very attractive.
Like, look, Roman bled for you. Like, not you, I mean like the crowd. Roman bled for you. I think hard way. And still,
yeah. If only this is on Easter weekend. Oh God, the Christ allegories would have been out like crazy.
Like, had the Crimson Mask going, like was blinking the blood out of his eyes, and still you don't cheer or like have any sympathy for him at all. I just don't like. That's 4 WrestleManias in a row. Like, come on.
Yeah, you can still hear those. Where
Roman bled a lot. I'm almost wondering like if they were meant to go a little bit longer, and like they realized that, Roman was bleeding, and like, will the man pass out?
Yeah, rewatching it, it was just like it made me uncomfortable. Like, this is like, that was, God, like, call me squeamish, but that was super uncomfortable. And I thought he was gonna win, right? That was the moment he gets the blood, that Samoan rage, and that's a great spot. It's vicious looking, and he still loses.
Mm-hmm.
So who's gonna take down Brock? Nobody. That's the answer. He just leaves.
So Brock is they have a Universal Championship match booked now for the Greatest Royal Rumble
It's a rematch
in
of this one.
Saudi Arabia. But like, look, Lesnar's holding your title hostage. Um, I don't know where he goes from here. Like Bobby Lashley is rumored to come back. Um, could he beat Brock? Maybe. I just man, what a way to end a show.
And what sucks is because this match sort of tarnished. It's that end main event syndrome. If the final act sucks, then everybody deems the whole thing to be suck worthy. Which this WrestleMania wasn't perfect, but by and large, it wasn't awful. It was perfectly fine. It's just yeah, and it's just that this main event was just Brock bullshit, and a weird ass fucking booking choice.
Mm-hmm. I've only been a wrestling fan for a couple years now. So like I've only seen I think this is my fourth WrestleMania and it is the best WrestleMania I've seen just from like a the card was stacked, mostly great matches. Man, like I wish it was an hour and a half shorter. Like I understand Wrestle Kingdom is like also 6 hours, but like I don't need to watch more than 5 hours of wrestling. I don't. I love wrestling. I don't want to watch 7 hours of wrestling. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Brock was supposed to Brock was to stay there and pose, but he just said, "Fuck this, I'm out." Wow. Yeah. She was ready for Asuka. Will be etched in my mind.
So I host a podcast called the Left Behind Game Club. It's a podcast where we play older games, usually from Gen 6, 7, and 8. Thomas has been on the show once. If you want to find information about that show, it's at leftbehindgame.club. We release twice a month. And if you want to find me on social media, you can do so at Jacob McCourt on Twitter. So just recently we played Tomb Raider 2013 because the new movie's coming out that's based on the 2013 release. And then we have an episode coming out on April 18th, and that's going to be God of War 2005, 2005. The original God of War. Thank you. Much appreciated.
Twitter.com/Marvelous Iggy, where you can find things concerning the Marvelous One. AJ Styles, please don't sue me. And yeah, that's about it. Anything that's going to come about me is going to come through that little Twitter account. As you wish.
Wrestling. Wrestling. The show is called Chair Shot, right? The show is called Chair Shot, right? I feel like you need a rhyming thing where you get ink blots, chair shots, and tequila
Shots.
knots.
Not. um, y'all want a minor spoiler for Raw? Like, it's nothing big. It's just a little thing Kurt Angle said. It's like, I hear he just basically said, I hear TNA is hiring, apparently. Like he just casually dropped TNA. I was just like, God damn, Kurt.
I just flipped it on, and Samoa Joe just appeared to confront Roman.
Oh shit! I'm looking at Twitter. A certain person is back. I won't say who it is, in case you want to watch it later. But I'm gonna watch it tomorrow on Hulu.
Paige retired.
Yeah, she's gone. She had that career-ending surgery, so or which yeah, which sucks is I was really looking forward to her versus Sasha, her versus Bailey, her versus Asuka. But I'd rather her live longer, personally.
Likewise. She's only 21.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Let the girl live.
Someone check the chair shot Discord, please. Oh.
I need the link for the stuff. Yeah. I feel like you did last time. You're like, hey, yo, you need the link to the stuff. You want me to send you this file? I'll send you the file. Thank you.
I mean, we're now, yeah, over almost 15 hours of wrestling. We'll do that.
This is what episode of Chair Shot? Number 4? You got it, dude. Oh. Oh, man. They have something like that. Yeah, like a Ric Flair type. Let me just look at what rhymes with shots. We're all about high spots, chair shots, and damn it. It's the show about hot shots, high spots, and chair shots. Damn it. No, I said shots twice. We're the show about crack the show with crackpots, high spots, and chair shots. Crackpots, high spots, and chair shots.
Nice.
See how it goes. Let me know. I'll be listening. I'm sure you're gonna kill it. All right, I'm gonna go watch this third hour of Raw.
Okay.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Nice talking to you, Jacob.
Bye.
I can't stop laughing at that image that Kyle posted, that try posting. Hey, guy. Oh my god, too funny. Oh my god. I really hope Joe is healthy next year because I would. He deserves a WrestleMania match. Like to me, like if he was healthy, I would have said fuck Undertaker, build up Samoa Joe Cena. Yeah, because I mean, if Dean wasn't injured, we were sure gonna get the Dean Ambrose Seth Rollins match. Because I think that was the rumor going around they were gonna like break up or something, and that was gonna lead to Mania. with Dean being the heel, but who knows? You can only deal with the cards that dealt you, but hopefully Joe's healthy next year. He's been wrestling for so long, like the man deserves to be on the card. Like he's worked his ass off. But fuck Brock. I won't say it to his face because he could kill me, but fuck Brock. Yeah, or he hits Stephanie or something and vacates the title and goes the fuck away. I saw. I've kind like that they relinquished them. I thought that was well, he's I think Braun basically goes, he's a scheduling conflict. He's only in 4th grade. I'm like Braun, you're fucking sweetheart, man. Fucking love you, dude. Is he a face now? He's total face now. Okay. That'll turn you a face every time. Oh my god. Yeah, he'll get buried, sadly. That's unfortunate. Because I really liked him. I mean, he was never a great worker, but brought energy to. Yeah, he never really did anything crazy in NXT, so. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully he doesn't become like R-Truth. That's all I ask. Mm-hmm. Overall, I feel bad for Roman. Yeah. I don't think he needs to main event next year. 4 is enough. He's what?
So I don't know what the plan is here.
Same here. I'm gonna watch the Hulu edit, because that's how I watch it. Nice. I already pay the WWE $10 a month. All right, man. Well, I'll upload this tonight, and then I'll look forward to listening to it. It was fun. I had fun talking about it. Yeah, we'll probably survive SummerSlam, because that's the next, or maybe something sooner. See you later, man.